Hi, my name is Lizz Aston. I'm a textile artist and industrial designer working out of my live work studio in the East End of Toronto. In my work, I try to bridge the gaps between traditional textile practice and contemporary art and design. I was really drawn to paper. I've always been really drawn to paper. I think it's a really interesting material. It holds a lot of memory. It's very transformative. You can do a lot of things with it sculpturally, and especially Japanese paper, looking at the traditions that come with the materials that you're actually working with and the families that have handmade this material. So my large-scale paper cuts are made using existing objects and abstracting the shapes, and actually most of the pieces in the series are made from the same pattern. So I'm interested in looking at repeating and manipulating a pattern in as many ways as possible in order to abstract it, and seeing the juxtaposition of that. And that was sort of the beginning of my process and how I started getting into paper cutting. And then I moved away from that body of work. I wanted to do more natural work. So I was looking at ways of exploding these forms that I was already working with and manipulating them and abstracting them. So scanning them and putting them on Photoshop and using the transform tools in order to blow them up large scale and distort and abstract and warp them. And from moving in that direction, it took me a long time, and then I finally started to get into using color in my work. Up until that point, I haven't used color at all. And I think that color allows me to play with the associative qualities of the patterns and forms that I'm working with, and it also it allows for me to play with volume and depth and form more. Because I'm working with a two-dimensional surface, I can play with light and shadow to create form. The color gradations come out as a process of mixing dyes, and the dyes really soak into the paper really well and bleed in together. So it's sort of a controlled process of bleeding dyes together to create these really beautiful gradations of color.